Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Roxanne Garcia with News Talk 710 KURV, and joining me is Victor Cortez. He's a Republican candidate running for sheriff in Cameron County. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Cortez. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
First question off the bat is tell us a little bit about your background, your personal life, and what you want voters to know.
Okay. Well, I have a bachelor's degree. I'm originally from Brownsville, born and raised there. I'm 64 years old, and I am a Vietnam veteran. I have 43 years of law enforcement experience. I'm a former Brownsville police officer, a former Border Patrol agent, a retired DEA agent with almost 30 years of service with the DEA. And after I retired from the DEA, I was fortunate enough to be recruited by U.S. Customs and Office of Internal Affairs to set up their Internal Affairs office in McAllen, here in McAllen. I not only did that, but eventually I became the supervisor of that office. We were recruited by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Office of Internal Affairs, with other agents to set it up. They gave us 4 years to set it up, and we did. After those 4 years were up, I was again fortunate enough to be recruited by the newly elected District Attorney in Cameron County. He asked me to help him set up his Internal Affairs office, and I did, and I became the chief of that unit. I have 2 Medals of Valor and a Purple Heart with the Drug Enforcement Administration, and I have other medals with the U.S. Army when I was in Vietnam.
Wow, so there's no doubt that you have a lot of experience in your background, but what made you decide to run for sheriff of Cameron County?
There is many reasons. Cameron County is unique in that it has a land border and a coastline. And Cameron County is being faced with many challenges because of the border and the coastline. And I believe that I'm the best qualified man to address these challenges. Challenges such as corruption, border security, gang activity, gang violence, and many other crimes in general. And I believe that I'm the man that can help in these endeavors. There are a lot of other crimes in Cameron County that, with my vast experience, that I can help. I can not only help in doing this, but by securing and having a good environment, safe environment in Cameron County, we can attract business and investors. And when we do that, when we create a good environment for business and investors to come in, we lower the unemployment and the crime rate.
Why are you running as a Republican?
I've been a Republican all my life. My parents were Democrats, but I've been a Republican for as far as I can remember. But I'm mainly a conservative. But I also look both sides of the debates. Yeah, and I do try and choose the best person for any position. And that's why I ask the voters of Cameron County to look at the qualifications of the candidates and make an intelligent decision.
Not based on parties.
Not based on parties. We're here to promote Cameron County, not parties.
What do you think is the most important part about being Cameron County Sheriff?
Well, as I mentioned, that Cameron County faces many challenges, one being corruption. And during my tenure, if I happen to be fortunate enough to be elected, during my tenure, I'm going to try and rid of corruption in Cameron County. I'm one of the Cameron County the Republican candidates, because originally there was 4 of us, and I was the only one that fought corruption, that led 2 agencies that were created to fight corruption, and that's what I intend to do. But I'm not going to single out one challenge that Cameron County has. there is, as I mentioned, a lot of other challenges that throughout my tenure I will address.
You mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you've had a lot of experiences in law enforcement, including you served in Vietnam and with Border Patrol and all the other aspects in law enforcement. But what else do you think can help you when it comes to becoming sheriff? How are those past experiences going to help you if you do get voted in and becoming sheriff?
They're going to help me because my education, experience, and training has prepared me to address those difficult decisions that managers have to face on their day-to-day activities to help address those hard decisions. That's where your education, training, and education comes in. These same characters also help me to mentor, coach, and guide employees of not only the sheriff department but any department that you lead. One of the things that I would like to do also is hire more females to join the ranks of the deputies and support people of the Cameron County Sheriff's Office.
What would you, adding on to what you're saying about adding females, what else would you change at the Cameron County Sheriff's Office?
Well, currently, the current sheriff is not being proactive and preventive. Most of the operations that are being conducted in Cameron County are being done by the district attorney's office. And I know that because I used to work for the district attorney's office and we used to do the operations. There was a void there and we used to fill that void. So one of the things that I hoping to do is do some preventive programs and more operations or proactive operations to keep the county safe, safer.
Is there any final thoughts or any last messages you would like our voters and our listeners to know about you and as to why they should vote you as Cameron County Sheriff?
There is a lot of things that I would like to say. There's two things that come to mind right now. First, in 1985, one of our DEA agents was kidnapped, tortured, and murdered in Guadalajara, Jalisco, by corrupt state judicial police officers working in conjunction with drug traffickers. The DEA set up a task force and sent several DEA agents to try and locate Enrique Camarena, our DEA agent that was abducted, tortured, and murdered. I was one of those agents. During the investigation, we learned that he was not missing, that he had been abducted. As the investigation progressed, we learned that he had been tortured. We learned that he had been tortured through some tapes that we had found. Later, we learned that he had been murdered. That was a very long, extensive investigation that I participated, one of the longest DEA had partook. And during that investigation, I was also a victim. I was also abducted, tortured, and my abductors told me that they were going to kill me as well. Wow. Because I followed and I was part of the investigation, I learned that the things that our agent didn't do, and I did. What I did is I left clues behind and witnesses. Wow. And because of my quick thinking, I was able to solve my own abduction. Wow. And my supervisor told me that.
Wow, that's a powerful story.
I believe that I bring not only experience, training, and education, but I also bring that to the table that I can mentor, coach, and guide employees. And the other thing that I would like to also the Cameron County voters to know is, as I mentioned earlier, that I would like them to see what this current sheriff has done in the 12 years he has been there. I would like them to give me an opportunity to serve them. I have an impeccable record with the Drug Enforcement Administration, and I would like to offer my experience, my training, and my education to the people of Cameron County.
Thank you so much. There you have it. That's Victor Cortez. He is running for sheriff, the Republican sheriff in Cameron County. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. I'm Roxanne Garcia, News Talk 710 KURV.